The opportunity. The year is 2024. We, more than any group in human history, have ourselves an unprecedented advantage. We have access to the most advanced technology ever accessible to a society at any given time. Advances made in information communication technology allow us as a people to have a conversation in a manner never available to others before us. We can deliberate on what we want for ourselves and where we can get it. More importantly, we do not have to have anyone moderate our conversations. We can communicate with each other directly and share our ideas. Here, by we I mean all of us, those of us in the different corners of our continent and those privileged to have ventured out and seen how the other societies operate. But this is just a tip of the iceberg. You see, our underdevelopment is a generational opportunity. When other societies are agonizing on how to incorporate the benefits of emerging technologies to their infrastructure, we do not have that problem. Our infrastructure is non-existent. The little we have was laid down by the colonial powers to help with the exploitation of our land. And the post-independent governments have only added marginal improvement to that extractive infrastructure. It is always important to remember that our infrastructure was not developed with us or our needs in mind. But herein lays the opportunity. We are essentially a blank canvas. There is little critical infrastructure that is meant to bring us together. However, we have access to the templates of how other societies have been developed. We do not have to reinvent the wheel. We have seen what works and what does not. Furthermore, we exist in an era of automation. This provides us with what we have always desired, a mechanism to leapfrog into the future. Critical infrastructure that took some societies decades to develop can be achieved in record time if we apply the technologies that we have access to. What does this mean for us? Remember our demographic realities? We are a continent with a workforce of around 600 million people, with another probable 500 million in the pipeline. 1.1 billion people with non-existent or underutilized skills. Our continental median age is 19 years. This makes us the youngest continent by a considerable margin. Essentially, we have two powers in one. A billion people who can be deployed where their labor is most efficient, and a billion users of the infrastructure we will be imagining and actualizing. A comparable description of our opportunity would be this. We are a business startup with an abundant labor source and a billion customers waiting in line for our product. But that is not all. While our interactions with our brothers and sisters from outside have left us stripped of our resources, be it manpower during slavery or resources in the colonial and neo-colonial eras, we are still sitting on the largest cache of resources by any single society. The theft and plunder of our resources has not put a dent on what is available for our use. This puts us in prime position. We can use these resources to build our future and trade the excess to acquire either the resources or technologies that are unavailable to us. But it does not end there. We are also one of the few societies in the world that does not have to factor in annual changes in weather patterns, while others have to halt their productive activities at certain times during the year. We can be productive every single day of the year. You want to define a generational opportunity? Well, how about this? A hungry, underutilized young population with a choice to build an infrastructure capable of accommodating all of them. Essentially, an opportunity to provide ourselves with an accommodative infrastructure, jobs, and a purpose for our lives. There is hopelessness in the African air. The youths of our continent do not see a way out. But that is because we are looking at our reality through the wrong lenses. A little change in perspective and the possibilities become endless. And now the caution. The world has always been a competitive place, and modern technologies only exaggerate this competitive spirit among the peoples of the world. Today, a lot of societies are working to ensure they have an infrastructure that is commensurate with the times we live in. And even the most advanced of technology has not provided a substitute for manpower and natural resources. Furthermore, some advanced societies are currently operating on a crumbling infrastructure. What this means is that eventually there will be a new gold rush for human labor by societies dealing with an aging population and natural resources for all societies wishing to revamp their infrastructure. There is only but one place that has these two resources in excess: Africa. Recently, we have seen African governments give concessions for resource extraction to foreign entities at an increasingly concerning rate. This is coupled by a sudden need for African professionals who are being urged to go fill the shortfalls in other societies. Essentially, we are witnessing slavery and colonialism happening simultaneously, only that this time Africans are consenting. It is always important to remember that we hardly made it out the last time these two calamities happened. And they not only happened independently, it was just the Europeans steering the ship. I can guarantee you this: we as a society will not survive a sucking of our labor and resources by the world. Sadly, that is but our secondary worry. You see, we have now interacted with the known world for over 5 centuries. And in that time, we have had the privilege as a people to live in those societies and contribute to their growth and development. However, even with all the familiarity and shared pasts, none of those societies forget to remind us that we are not of those lands. Some do it stealthily, while others do it openly. But the message is always the same: you are not wanted here. You are not of here. And to some extent, they are right. These are their homes. Helping your neighbor build their house does not make you a member of that household. Unfortunately, this is not the reason for the constant reminder to Africans to go back to their homes. The reason for the constant trolling is because the entire world but us knows that we, Africans, do not have a home to go back to. At least not a habitable one. And in that knowledge, the trolling will continue. It is this reality that keeps me up at night, and it is upon this understanding that I wish to communicate the level of urgency of this moment in time. The saying that Africa is at a crossroad has been used too many times, but we are truly at a crossroad as a generation. We are being called upon to decide what we want to do with the gift of the energies of our youth. The world is asking that we use our resources and energies to fix their societies. Societies they will tell our children to live once they have gotten what they want. Today, I am here to propose an alternative. Let us build a home for ourselves. A home we will all be proud of. A place where not only us but all those others who have welcomed us into their homes will want to come live in. What I am asking will not be easy. It will require a lot of sacrifice and hard work. But it is work that has to be done. We have lived in a society that was created without us in thought. And we are witnessing how damaging and demoralizing it is to live in a reality that was not curated to accommodate us and our dreams. I am asking that we commit to be the last generation of Africans to live in such a reality. And if this does not convince you, then look at it this way. If we do not reject the offer by the world and choose to go and labor for them, we condemn our children and their children to a similar fate to the one our parents have condemned us to. Whenever you feel hopeless and without a sense of direction, remember, this is our parents' imagination for us. And while they may refute this accusation, their action or inaction of envisioning our current reality is all the evidence you need. We must commit to do better. This is our generational obligation. And it is my belief that as our children reflect on their reality 30 years from today, they will have a more favorable recollection of our collective contribution. This has been envisioningafrica.com, and I have been your host Wanga. See you next time.